So I survived 1,000 days in hardcore Minecraft. 1,000 days. That's nearly 3 years in in-game time. A feat that only like 0.001% of players can do. I don't really know the percentage, it just sounds cool if I say that. I've achieved a ton in this time, and after this, it's time to really step things up and get mega builds done, and do even bigger things. I sprinkled throughout this movie some updates for this series, some new series coming in, and the future of the channel. If you're a fan of my work, I highly recommend watching all of this. If you're new to the series, there's a link to the previous 100-day movies I've made on here. A good watch if you're looking to binge something. And one last thing before we begin the show, 30,000 likes and I'll release the next episode. Also, if you're not subscribed, it'd help me out a ton if you would. About 17% of you are, and if you're not, I don't know, man, you're kind of weird. Also, leave a comment, something like, I'm so excited for episode 1. It would help me out a ton and would help boost this video around YouTube's algorithm. Now, here's my story of surviving 1,000 days in hardcore Minecraft. Alrighty, well, first thing that's absolutely massive. I mean, I've done this for the past 3 videos, but I have shaders installed now. It lowers down the FPS a ton, but hopefully the footage is still smooth for you all. I'm using the complimentary shaders if any of you are wondering. This is also my first time ever seeing this world with them on, and I'm incredibly stunned. Everything just looks amazing and really turned up the quality of the builds to me, but it kind of makes everything dark. Oh, that looks so sick! That looks so cool in the distance. Whoa. Safe too, I also like the dark. Too bad I never played during the night. So, it's actually been a while since I've played Minecraft, and what's better than immediately doing a raid when you're rusty? I quickly got ready, and with these super fancy shots, I flew to the raid village. No way, it's been so long. Hey, how you doing in there? Having a good time? Don't worry, we'll do a raid very soon, don't you worry, we're gonna have some fun. We're starting this off very good, okay? You're gonna enjoy this a ton. But before we could have our fun, I have to get to Bad Omen 5. My fans were waiting for me at the tower and reenacted Assassin's Creed and got to work. It didn't take much time, luckily. I got to Bad Omen 5 today. And then ran back over to the the comfortably living villager. Yo, he who shall not be named, I'm here. It's time for us to have fun. And oh, fun we're about to have. But, let's be honest, the beginning of raids are boring, there's no chance I'll ever die to it. So boom, fast forwarding through this, and the big puppies are here. And wow, what a tough fight. I was running left and right, no sword, just my fists, giving them all the old 1-2 boom boom pow. Incredible. Don't you worry, he who shall not be named, I'm coming back, homie. I'm going away, homie, good luck. You've lived a good life. Speaking of living a good life, I don't know how to explain this part, but I was getting blocked and couldn't move, and kinda popped a totem. But I'm way too amazing at this game, so I think it's just a glitch. No way I could ever pop one. I finished up the raid and went to say goodbye to No Namer. I think we're bonding very well over these raids. Huh, I kinda like that name. Should we call him No Namer? So after flying home, I kinda noticed something. I might have to kill them soon. There's kind of a lot of you. And I feel like you're affecting my iron rates, even though I am getting them pretty fast. And I began to clear them out, except I got stuck again. I think that might be the theme to this movie. Everything is just latching onto me and not letting go. I think my world is clingy because I've been gone for so long. But after that fun stuff of clearing out a lot of the iron golems, I was getting organized and found out my water elevator is beautiful. And then the creeper just had to blow up. 4 days in and everything is going so wrong. And there's no way I'm working on my baby this movie. You know what, just because of how this is going, I am not working on that. With how my luck is right now, I know something terrible is just gonna keep happening, so I might as well not touch one of my most prized possessions, because I don't even want to chance it. I know you all want me to finish the auto-inator. Trust me, so do I. I want to make my auto-sorting system already, but I also want to begin another mega build. It's not like I have 3 or 4 or whatever number going on right now. But I need 2 more ancient debris because I need a lodestone for the area. Oh, I also just made an off switch for the bamboo shoot because the auto-inator is overflowing. And speaking of overflowing, I was really confused. Is that a traveling trader? What? Huh? Yeah, I was really stunned and worried. I legit thought that this was another player, since I didn't think it was possible for a traveling trader to spawn up there. They'd do anything for a sale. Now, back to the lodestone. I went into the nether and I thought I was heading to the ancient debris mining spot, until I traveled for over 10 minutes and got immensely lost. I went back and did you know that I had another fortress like 3 minutes from my portal, if that makes sense. I spent a bit of time in there exploring, but that's not important. I found the ancient debris mineshaft and got to work. It didn't take me too long, maybe 15 minutes to find 2 ancient debris. I lost track of time. I just went numb and kept mining, and I was tempted to see if I could find more, but I don't have enough self-loathing for that. Now to smelt it, but while traveling in here, I need to make this entire nether section my first giga build, maybe second. I want to make it completely safe, beautiful, and easy to travel in. And speaking of giga builds, my next one, it's going to be an entirely new base, fully self-sufficient and all that fun stuff. I'm going to remix and improve a popular YouTuber's hardcore base, but for clickbait reasons, I'm not saying who just yet. With the lodestone done, I flew out and found a nice spot near the ocean. A perfect area near the desert and a village like 100 blocks away, but first I need to clear out this forest, which is so much easier said than done. No joke, I spent the entire day cutting down like 15 trees or something. I don't know what Mr. Beast was worried about, but the forests aren't going anywhere. These baddies are incredibly resilient. Also, I need wood. Almost out back at home. So, I did say giga build, not a mega build, meaning this place is going to be massive, and I'm planning on using the entire grass area. I'd tell you how big it is, but I don't even know. But to at least not forget what I'm planning here, I dug a line, because that's how you claim things in life. But this build is going to take up way too much time, so I'm not going to do it yet. I just wanted to bait you all. My inventory was full, and I headed back home. While I was getting organized and being incredibly happy over how much dirt I have now, I thought about it long and hard, like 3 seconds. But it's time to remove my starter home. It survived like 900 days, but it's just in an awkward spot in my compound. It's annoying to get into to put stuff away, so I removed it. Hopefully it doesn't make you angry. But to not make you angry, it's time to bring back Bumble. But first, I want to change out this section of my compound to a Shroomlight district, just to really section off everything, and because the Shroomlights are orange and will fit the behemoth very well. Firstly, to get Shroomlights better, I had to trick out my netherite hoe, because you need to treat your hoe very well, or else the hoe won't treat you well. You get me? It's a give and take relationship. So I iced out my hoe and I was ready. I went to the nether as one would for some nether items, and then found a crimson biome. And I was surprised with how fast I could collect these bad boys, except for when the dirtbags steal it from me. Now, I'll just skip ahead because who wants to watch a man mine in a game that has it in its title? Also, the ghast were bullying me and it was making me feel really bad. Reminded me of senior year in high school. So I returned back home to safety and shoved everything randomly into a chest. I just can't be asked anymore to stay organized. I have a chest monster and I'm just gonna wait till I make my item sorting system to get organized. Now, for the behemoth, I first got rid of visible light sources that weren't Shroomlights. And, well, it was looking good until I also decided to remove light sources that you can't see and replace them with Shroomlights. Probably not smart since they were sea lanterns and a lot easier to get than Shroomlights. While my entire building is lit up really well, mobs can't spawn in here with these shaders on, though everything was just too dark and gloomy. I had to light up the dark areas while worrying about how it'll change the look. I'll probably come back and redo these, but I wanted to get the general idea down in each area. I finished up the left honeycomb, and now for the brain-hurting part. I want to make this entire room a honey collection area, where I'll never have to hand collect it and refill the machine with bottles. I want to be lazy and have it fully automated. The main issues, I have no idea how to do any of that. So, to save my head for a little bit, I went back to change out the torches to Shroomlights and lighting up the dark areas. Now that it's later, I'm therefore wiser. I wore a monocle and came up with the redstone machine in a creative world. I definitely didn't look up a YouTube tutorial or anything. I marked out the center of the beehive, which was an even number, so there's 2 centers. And I'm planning on making it look like there's a tube coming out of the beehive for collection. Make it look more factory-like. But for the machine, I need ice. And don't worry, I listened to your 5,000 comments this time. I know, I need to use packed ice that doesn't melt with light sources or heat. So I flew to the polar bears biome and stole more of their home. They deserve it. I collected a number of shulkers that I can't count because counting is for nerds, and flew home. I was getting organized, but then wanted to get more ice, mainly because I wanted to farm some more polar bear tears. It made me feel good, and I wanted to gather a ton of ice for future item sorting system pathways, and because once all the ice melts, I can sell it back for a huge profit. Thinking of future capitalism. Once I tormented the polar bears enough and had a few bottles of their tears, I headed back home and found out that you can also craft packed ice. A very nice discovery. And now for the redstone part. First, I had to do the hoppers since that's the biggest part of it. I didn't want to put it too close to the edge since the outside is just 1 block away, and I know this is going to be a thick boy. I mainly just got the collection part done today, but I underestimated the location of this for the item sorting part. Well, not really an item sorter. I'm making a system that will check when a beehive is full of honey and then collect it, while another area will detect when a dispenser uses a glass bottle and then send 1 glass bottle to refill it, so I never have to come in here to refill the dispensers. I can just keep a chest at the entrance of the building full with glass bottles. It all sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. Trust me, it's really not that confusing. I just wanted to sound smart. A little side quest. My iron farm stopped working, so I went around and killed some iron golems. That usually fixes it for some reason. Also made more redstone items to finish up the nerdy part of the build and made the collection spitting spot. Everything was going smoothly, man. I had to make sure to cover up all the holes because bees are annoying and dumb, but we still love them. Now, since my item sorting system that isn't set up yet, there's no point in me connecting this to it. So I'm just making a little collection area for it. But now thinking about it, is it even wise to have this connected to it? Especially since this honey stuff will fill up incredibly fast. Or at least it did in the creative world. Within an hour, I think I had an entire line of honey bottles, but that's a future problem for future smart me. I was going to make everything look pretty, but it'd be better if I do all the redstone stuff first. And now, for the auto refilling station, which is going to hijack off of the redstone signal from the auto dispenser clock thingy. And funny story, you see, I got the machine prepared and made an ice bridge up top. Then, as I was going to make it go down for the lobby, I realized I don't have to build it up here. I can just build it down there. So, yeah, I kind of wasted a day. Tore down the bridge and made it go down instead. I'm smart. It was all going easy for making the tunnel stuff, getting the glass bottle loading chest and whatnot. But then came the redstone part. It's not hard to link everything up, but I don't know how to make redstone go up without taking up too much space. And this would prove to be an issue, especially since you'll see this from outside. But after a few hours in the creative world, no, seriously. I just couldn't find a way for the signal to travel down in a 1-block line. I had to do the traditional staircase way. I linked it up to the collection dispenser spot and all was going well, until it didn't. I tested out the chute with 6 blocks and when I went to the bottle refilling area, all 6 test dirt blocks were still there. Somehow the signal wasn't reaching. So I put my massive scientific PhD brain to work and came up with the greatest system to figure out why the signal isn't reaching. I went to every single redstone line in between repeaters and put a torch down, seeing if the redstone signal continued on. And, well, apparently glass can't transmit a signal downwards, but it can upwards. I guess that makes sense. So I went through and replaced all the glass parts that headed downwards with stone and tested out the machine again. And it worked perfectly. Next, I got to work on the water elevator part, and then the nightmare came to my attention. There's now one issue that I'm starting to realize. I think I have to load up all of these with glass bottles. Whenever one of these uses a glass bottle, the glass bottles on top will slide across all of these, like it'll go all the way across until it can go back into one of these. So I need to make 9 there, 5 there. So I have to make 14 per. So that's 14 times 14. My math was very off and I'm not going to let you hear it, but running it through a calculator, I came up with 57,000 glass bottles that I'd need. No, like seriously, I don't really know what to say. I chose this place as the project for this movie, and well, I grabbed 22 shulkers and flew out to the desert. It's going to take quite some time. I wonder if there's some kind of sand farm I can make. But regardless, it's time to get to work. Just to not bore you all I did was mine for about 4 days straight. I did get 7 shulkers filled with sand, and the desert was really showing signs of wear and tear. Obviously, and I was going to fill up all 12 shulkers in one session, as one would, but my shovels were almost broken. I went all the way till they had like 12 durability left. I wanted to cut it close, but not too close. Also, this desert is now looking like a chunk glitch. Maybe I'll use this spot for a build in the future? I don't know. After using up all the shovels that I had, I decided to clean up the place. Not entirely sure why, but I wanted to make this place clean. But I always wanted to get a nice collection of sandstone, because once I make that item sorting system in the Autoinator, I want to have a nice collection of all of the blocks. So in case I ever need any kind of block for a build, I have it and won't have to go and collect it. With the super fun field trip to the desert done, I flew home and I would have began smelting the sand, since there's a lot, but I don't plan on staying here long, and I don't want to mess around with chunks unloading and loading. So I'm just leaving the shulkers full of sand here until I have all 12 done. I got organized and flew to the inn to heal up everything, and, well... Whoa! This is so cool. Yeah, this was my first time seeing the end with the complementary shaders on, and I loved it. I'm definitely going to make a Giga build in here someday. But before I go and finish mining out the desert in self-loathing, I want to do another raid. You know, add some spice and thrill to this movie again. Like, ooh, am I gonna die and lose my 1,000-day hardcore world? I don't know. And I don't know if the pillagers missed me, or if they want me to die to a raid fast. But I got to Bad Omen 5 today. I think this is the fastest I've ever gotten it. No time to waste, stairs are for nerds. I know, it's been such a long time. I know you love raids, so yeah, we're back with another one. Yep, you just sit tight in there. I still have absolutely no idea how the Vexes have not killed you yet, but hey, I'll take it. I mean, to be fair, I really don't know how No Namer is still alive. He has to be low. I might bring him some healing potions for him, but it's kind of incredible that Vexes haven't killed him yet. As for the raid, like usual, the beginning is slow and boring, and then I turned up the heat and had a patty cake war with the Ravager. I won, obviously, and then had a staring contest with this one. And, well, the raid was quite easy for the remainder. Nothing else happened. The bow made it a ton easier, and I was just working on my aim. Until at the end, I was trying to find the last pillager, and I thought this Vindicator destroyed the cobblestone door and killed No Namer. Until I realized it was a different house and he was safe. Then, I just returned home and got organized like I always do. The fun little break is over now. Back to the super fun sand mining. Just so some of you don't cry to me anymore, I went up to my mob spawner and flew off there. Gotta save that one rocket. All that's left is 5 more shulkers. And, I tried to keep on mining out the sandstone so that this place would look a bit nicer, but I wasted day 945 just mining sandstone. So that was cool. But reaching day 947, we finally finished collecting all of the sand today. Okay, I kinda lied. I finished gathering all the sand today. Now to just fly home and smelt all 12 shulkers of sand. Oh god. I don't know why, but, well, this is gonna take a long time to smelt this sand. Oh, this is so bad. Oh no. Oh no, this is probably gonna take me the entire video of just putting sand in there. And on top of that, I only have a double chest of bamboo on backup, so fuel will also be a problem. While the sand is smelting, I'm just gonna work on decorating the beehive and making it look pretty. However, I need more wood. And being the main character in this world, also the center of the universe, I disregarded the needs of the forest and collected a couple stacks of dark oak. After getting a good amount of those, I went to the side of the behemoth and began to change out the glass to black stained glass. I have to make sure the glass is drippy, because you either drip in this world or the world drips you. What? So for the side, I'm going for a natural log holder look. Something you'd see in Skyrim maybe. Since the front of the behemoth is a fantasy nature look, I wanted to continue that on the side, making it look like some kind of wooden pump for the refilling line, and then a giant wooden log held onto the side, as some sort of pipeline for this. I stripped the dark oak to make it blend into the oak planks, and while doing this, I kinda don't know why I made the beehive sections out of oak planks. I'm using dark logs for the main building and now for the fancy add-ons, so maybe I'll go back and redo those, or add something to the outside to make them darker. Over the next 2 days, I finished the bare bones section of the other pipe and got the general look of this industrial pipe area done. But, of course, knowing me, I'm gonna come back and touch this up some more and add some leaves. Always gotta add leaves to your builds. Remember how I kinda added like 6 double chest or something of sand to the autoinator? Yeah, funny thing. Did you know that you have to remove the glass from the single double chest or else it'll overflow? Yeah, I forgot. I barely made it in time before it overflowed and just made bottles and added it to the beehive. Roughly 1/3 done with the glass bottles now. So I gotta keep an eye on those suckers, and got back to finishing up the side of the beehive. It's nearly done. Just needed those fine touches, like leaves, and added some stairs to smooth it out. I don't know if I'll come back to it, but for the most part, I think this is all done and good. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I think I just need to add on to the beehive section. And speaking of destroying a desert ecosystem, all 12 of the shulkers are loaded into the autoinator. I added more glass bottles to the beehive and Something's wrong. I kind of forgot that 12 shulkers of sand kind of need fuel to smelt. It's really funny how nature be like that. And, this is bad. Even worse than the fuel, the sand is backed up. The furnaces were without fuel for too long. I had to bite the bullet and go and take all of my coal and charcoal. As this movie goes along, the poorer I get. This is terrible. But with me being so generous and kind and sacrificing my vast wealth, the fuel system seems to be okay for now. Hopefully this is enough for all of the sand. Now, back to the behemoth. With the outside done, it's time to get to work on the interior and the front. I need to make sure this place is looking beautiful for the thumbnail. I want to change out this blue glass and sea lanterns for orange glass and shroom lights. And so I got to work. Now, originally I was trying to blend the blue glass into orange, make it seem like it was slowly turning to honey or something. I really don't know. I don't really think when I build, I just go with the flow and surprise myself. But it doesn't make sense to have the blue glass here. And now I have more for the Autoinator. So it's a win-win. But what wasn't a win-win was me running out of shroom lights. However, you're watching the smartest Minecraft player in the world, and I collected some of the blue netherrack block thingies to make some of those nether tree thingies in here so I didn't have to travel around to the nether to get more shroom lights. Man, I'm so good at explaining things. Another cool thing about this, even though it doesn't really matter for me, is that when I gather from these trees, is that it didn't cost me any bone meal to run it. Like, all of the foliage I got from the trees, I turned it back into bone meal, and I think I actually gained more than I used. And after 2.5 days of collecting shroom lights, I think I haven't checked on my collection system part of the glass in like 5 days, but I'm sure it's fine. There's no way I'd walk into the room, pick up 3 stacks of glass sitting on the hopper because it's overflowing, and possibly lose a lot of glass. Well, that happened. I'm really good with time management, I swear. I think I collected too much glass though. All of the hoppers and dispensers are almost filled with the glass bottles, so I don't know why you guys didn't tell me that I don't need 57,000 blocks of sand. Anyways, I finished a majority of the outside honey splatter glass design, but I ran out of orange glass. And I don't feel like making more just yet. I'm super low on glass, as you can tell, so I thought to work on the inside now. But I need shroom lights for that, so I spent the remainder of the day getting more shroom lights. I should probably make this into an auto farm, but I don't want to be Ethos Lab just yet. Now, I know I've been farming a whole ton this entire movie, so I wanted to make this the last day that I farm, or at least try to. I do need the shroom lights, so I'll try and use them wisely while building because I want to actually get stuff done. I just wish I could skip the farming part so I can show you all the building parts and adventures, which leads into those updates I want to talk about. First, just so this makes sense, I don't want to use any more wood or stone for the lobby. I want to make this look very nature-y and like you're still in the wilderness. It'll make more sense once I work on the rest of my compound and add a theme to it all. First, just so none of you get anxious or sad, the stuff I want to talk about is all good. I mean, the reason I need or want to isn't, but the outcome is really good for all of you. I need regular ice so I can fill up the rivers inside the behemoth. It's just a lot easier than using water buckets. So I went back to the depleting glaciers and stole more ice from the polar bears and got to work on adding them to the pond and river beds. So firstly, obviously my videos take a long time to make, and it takes even longer to do series. That isn't my choice though. If it were up to me, I'd love to upload every 5 days or once a week. But my videos just require so much work. So much so that I actually never have free time. I don't have a life, and it's affecting my physical and mental health. Ever since I went full-time on YouTube back in October of 2020, I've noticed it declining. I'm just constantly working. I upload roughly every 2 weeks, because that's how long it takes to make a video. Once I finish one, I immediately begin working on the next. I never get to play any other games, hang out with friends, watch stuff, go outside, but I don't want to make this a sob story. I just want to catch you all up on everything and give a background story to my future decisions. Sorry to cut this off again, but every 1,000 days, I want to make a map of my entire compound or wherever I am working on in this world. If I'm at some other spot, I'll make a map there. I just want to see the progress of my land change. I wish I made one back on day 0, but it's whatever. So, anyways, when I began this channel, I didn't just want to do 100 days. I actually didn't plan on doing this at all, but my channel blew up from it, so I continued doing them. I want to do content that's more personal, more fun, stuff I can upload more rapidly. Have videos where I can skip farming items items and blocks so I can just show you the fun stuff and show off buildings and adventures. And I'd like to think that you didn't subscribe to me just for 100 days content, but because you subscribed for me. Now, don't freak out, I'll still do 100 days content, mainly just the lore 100 days, you know, like the ocean world that all of you loved a ton, and I'll still do the series, but I'll make it every 1,000 days instead of every 100 days, so I can show off more. But I'm going to change the series into an episode series, like episode 1, 2, 3, etc. So I can cut out all of the boring grinding and farming, and then I can actually finish builds. The Autoinator alone will take 1,000 days, and I can't put myself through it to make 10 more 100-day videos on it. Also then, I can include all of you in it more. You can help me out with designs, what to build, naming animals or villagers, and then all of you can see this world a lot faster, instead of once every 2 months. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the position I'm in. I'm very grateful to be here and what I have. I appreciate every single one of you and how you've changed my life drastically. I just want to do content that won't take up my life and ruin my health and mental health, or else soon I might have to quit YouTube. And I've been doing this for way too many years of my life to give up on. On top of that, there's a lot of video ideas I have, new series I want to do. The quality won't drop, the cinematic stuff and time lapses are easy for me to do, and I enjoy them. I love making my videos high quality and putting in a ton of effort into them. It's why I do this. Plus, I would be able to do live streams again, and I could live stream some of my series. If I'm doing some grinding stuff, or let's say I do RL craft and I get stuff, I can just do a live stream and make it into an episode. I can have all of you help me out and join in on the episode and plan out what I'm gonna do. So overall, nothing's really changing on my channel. Like, you guys will get more uploads, new series. I'm also gonna do other games. It'll be survival games, don't worry, like Subnautica, or Ark, or Rust. Who knows? The quality will still be the same. It'll just be videos other than 100 days and a lot more often. I hope you're as excited as I am. So, with the updates done, it's back to the movie. I added a huge river to the lobby, a giant pond, and 3 bridges, just so I could run over the rivers easier. And it adds a really nice look in here, but I don't know how I feel about the bridge designs. Do you think they look okay, or should I change them? Before I run out of time, I want to work on the front of the behemoth. I still need a nice thumbnail after all, so I went out and gathered some dark oak, wood, and saplings. I thought a natural dark oak tree in the front would look good, but I don't like how much it covers the building. So instead, I figured maybe a little beast statue would look good, but it's too tiny to build, so that's also a no-no. So instead, a genius idea, which will be costly, I'll leave my netherite armor here. Every 1,000 days, I'm going to leave my armor someplace in my world, just so I can have nice collections and areas, and it'll be a nice showpiece. It's just something fun I thought of, and it would look really nice in front of the behemoth. With that planned out, I decided it's time. The glass bottles are all done. I made way too many, but now I have a ton of glass. And after like 400 days of being in a chest, some of the bees are free. They immediately got to work, so I'm in love. But while monitoring them, the refilling station wasn't working. I was noticing that some of the hoppers were missing glass bottles, so that's fun. I followed the redstone line, again, to see if maybe there was a signal issue, but once I got to the dispenser, everything was working, and it was still shooting out bottles. Then I went to the hopper line, and there's water bottles in here? I never put water bottles into the dispenser. Wait, I put down a dispenser instead of a dropper. So I went through and changed out that dispenser for a dropper. Fed bottles through the system, and would you look at that? It all actually works. So now, it all finally works perfectly. I don't have to tend to the beehive at all, and it works incredibly fast for honey. So now I can switch out the front orange glass blocks for honey blocks. Up next, to hide the light sources. I'll be doing this for my entire compound. I'm using green carpet. I would use moss carpet. I'd love to use that instead, actually, but I'm on 1.16.2, and I can't play on 1.17 for whatever reason. But the green carpet doesn't look bad at all. It adds a nice depth and covers the lights, so it makes it look a lot better. Also, I'm moving the light sources from the edges so it looks even better, and adding trapdoors to the bottom of the shroom lights for more depth and coverage. And I did the same thing today. Now the hard part, that I've been putting off, is lighting up the upstairs. Nothing will spawn in here luckily, it's so dark because of the shaders, and I really want to light it up, but if I add lights, it'll pop through the floor down below. Also, trying to add some other colors since it's just brown in here. And I think there should be more depth. But then I had the biggest brain blast ever. I built the lights up instead of down. I know, but hold the applause. I'm so unbelievably smart. No one has ever done this before. And on top of that, It adds depth to the top floor, and some more colors, as I add more brown trapdoors, but you get the point. That's all roughly done, but I keep jumping back and forth between the interior and the outside front. So, first off, I need to get a lot of dark oak logs, leaves, souls of my enemies. You know, all the important blocks to make a nice, nature-y, fantasy outdoors look. But I can't fall behind on the important science stuff. Don't want anything else to break. The honey production is working incredibly fast. I think I'm going to make the other two hives harvest honeycombs, or maybe just have one of them harvest honeycomb and the last one is just for looks. I also finished changing out the orange glass to honey blocks in the front, and the refilling station is working perfectly. Also, Bumble is here too. Luckily, I chose the right hive and she was on the first batch of freedom. Now, finally for the outside. The thing I constantly talk about but never do. I made some stone bricks and I'm putting it in between the beehive chambers, just so they don't look like they're floating anymore and like it's all one big thing. But when I got to the back, I kinda noticed that I didn't add the glowstone to the side of the chambers. And to make matters worse, I have like 30 blocks of glowstone. So I'll be visiting the Nether in the future and get more glowstone. Or make a witch farm, which honestly doesn't seem like a bad idea. I'll have to use a TNT duplicator to clear out a massive crater for the witch farm, or make a sky base for it, but a witch farm wouldn't be bad. It'd give me bottles, glowstone dust, gunpowder, sugar, sticks, and other things that I don't remember at all. For the outside of the behemoth, I'm planning this nature build, and I think I'm going to make the rest of my compound look like it. And then I'll make the Autoinator stand out like it currently is, because I want to create a story for this place, and all of the future places that I build. I love lore and stories. I feel like it really adds to your builds and just makes Minecraft more fun. Maybe some futuristic people came back in time and built the Autoinator. And then the villagers of the time found the Autoinator, thinking it was something that came from gods or aliens, like what people think of the Egyptian pyramids. So then they built their village around the alien building. It would let me add a lot more buildings and farms around the Autoinator, and I think it would be fun for all of you too. Maybe I could build some farms or buildings that you all want around it. Make a dog mansion or parrot mansion, rebuild the farms and surround the Autoinator. You know, have some fun with it. I'm definitely going to tear down my farms and rebuild them and move them around, so everything isn't just on one side of the compound. Back to the building, I added stone and some bushes everywhere to add to the aesthetic, but I think I might have added too many buttons. Might have to go back and remove some. With the front basically all done, I wanted to add some of the leftover leaves to the inside, and I'm incredibly happy that I did. I feel like it really helped balance out the color inside. But with great leaves comes great leave needs. What? I went to the dark oak forest again and gathered more leaves and logs and added them to the front. I just didn't feel like it was nature-y enough. Also for some more color and depth. I tilled the ground, making it look like there's some muddy parts to the ground. In the next episode or time I work on this, I'll probably add some ponds too. I added one last little tree to the front and yeah, I'm 100% going to redo the front. It's way too messy and ugly for my taste. I wasn't thinking when tilling the ground and adding those rocks, but the honey came flying in. I finished the front of the building with honey blocks and then I added the rest to the top floor. I didn't plan on doing this, but I think it made it look incredibly nice. Since I'm going to put my armor on that stand, I want to leave it at full health. Before I put it away, I wanted to get organized. I have shulkers and random chests all over my compound, and I want to spend the remaining days putting those away and just saying again that I hope you all understand my decision and where I'm coming from for a new series, and what I'm going to be uploading from now on. Again, I think you'll all love the new videos. I have some really fun ones planned out and 2-episode series coming out. One of them you guys have been asking for a while, so instead of a 100 days video on it, I'm going to do this instead. And I'm going to make this 100 days series into an episode series. So now we can really get work done, and you'll be able to see this world a whole lot more. Now, since I've just survived over 1,000 days in hardcore Minecraft, done some insane challenges, nearly died like 200 times, I've come to a conclusion. I don't need to see anymore. So I'm wearing this teal blindfold now. Clearly, I don't need to see danger anymore, or what I'm doing really. I also put my logo on the back of my new ninja garments. And so my skin isn't so bland, I added some color to it. You could say that I achieved the next level and now I'm like a sensei. With my new outfit on, I went and placed my netherite armor on the armor stand. And I think it's a perfect touch to the building. Also, I found out I have diamond armor in this shulker, so I'm not completely weak, but we definitely have work to do. For the remainder of the day, I went around my compound, said hi to my bees, laughed at the villagers, and then made the track to my dojo room. I'd say I took a glance at the sunset, but yeah. Also, these shots of my new skin are really pretty. And then, like tradition, I'll watch the sunset to end off the 1,000 Days movie. If you enjoy this movie, I highly recommend watching my greatest work, 100 Days in an Ocean-Only World. It has lore. Or watch my first time ever surviving 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. You can watch the story of how this movie came to be.
And if I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. 'Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me Wish you understood the gravity, but you got low sense.